Services, Home Affairs, and other law enforcement agencies in 6 hijacked buildings in Durban led to the discovery of 4 million rands in counterfeit United States dollars, seizures of drugs, 108 in the country since the beginning of the year. The DPCI has uncovered 10 clandestine drug laboratories and arrested 34 persons for manufacturing, dealing, and possession of illicit drugs. Cabinet calls for all South Africans to continue to work with law enforcement agencies by reporting illegal acts to police on 10111 to help keep criminals out of our streets. The fight against crime is a shared responsibility, and government will continue to champion all initiatives that will mobilize all people in society to work together towards a better and safer South Africa. In terms of holding the corrupt accountable, Cabinet welcomes the preservation order of 6.5 million against those involved in looting funds of the National Lotteries Commission. This action supports the implementation of the anti-corruption strategy, which brings together law enforcement agencies in the fight against corruption. Cabinet further welcomes the ruling by a London court to allow the extradition of British national and former Eskom contractor Mr. Michael Lomas to South Africa to face corruption charges. Mr. Lomas will be extradited to face 41 serious corruption charges related to the construction of the Kusile power station. This ruling is also a vote of confidence in our criminal justice system and affirms our commitment to comply with international human rights obligations. In his ruling, Judge Charles Bond stated that South Africa's prison system has appropriate measures and can meet the needs of Mr. Lomas. The signing of a proclamation by President Ramaphosa authorizing the Special Investigation Unit to investigate allegation of corruption and maladministration as Eskom strengthens the effort to hold those involved in corrupt activities at the state entity accountable. The proclamation covers allegation of unlawful and improper conduct that occurred between 1st March 2006 and 30 August 2024, and 9 contracts will be investigated. The President also amended a proclamation authorizing the SABC to investigate further areas of alleged commitment to rooting out dishonest practices, ensuring accountability at all levels. In terms of continuing with the fight against extortion, Cabinet takes a zero-tolerance approach against extortion. South Africa is learning from the international best practices to develop strategies to deal decisively with incidents of extortion. A whole-of-society approach and a unified effort from government, law enforcement agencies, businesses, and communities are needed to create a united front to combat this crime. Extortion does not just harm individuals, it undermines our entire economy as well. By fighting this crime, we are protecting jobs, encouraging investment, and promoting economic growth. We are empowering communities to stand up against extortion. Through education, support networks, and confidential reporting systems, we are making it safer for people to say no to criminals. The SABC is being equipped with latest tools and techniques to combat extortion, including advanced intelligence gathering and specialized task forces to staying ahead of criminal tactics. Extortion often thrives when there is lack of economic opportunities. Government is addressing root causes by investing in education, job creation, and community development alongside our law enforcement agencies or law enforcement efforts. Government is working closely with the international partner to share intelligence, track criminal networks, and bring offenders to justice. Our efforts are particularly focused on protecting vulnerable individuals and businesses who are often the primary target of extortion. No one should have to live in fear in their own community. Government is committed to a sustained long effort to root out the crime and create lasting safety and security for all South Africans. In terms of the fraudulent medical claim, Cabinet is appalled that some unscrupulous and greedy lawyers and advocates have attempted to swindle billions of rands from state through fraudulent and irregular medical legal claims. This wrongdoing were uncovered in a far-reaching investigation by the SIU into alleged fraudulent medical claims or medical legal claims against the state since 2017. The ongoing investigation revealed that some legal practitioners, at times with the help of health practitioners working for the state, have been targeting Provincial Department of Health, and matters completed by the SIU have resulted in at least 3 billion in savings for the various departments of health. In terms of governance and imperatives, the Government of National Unity is focused on enhancing state capacity to deliver on key government objectives. The GNU partners are committed to harnessing their collective will to improve the lives of South Africans. We have a clear resolve to foster a more responsive approach across all spheres of government at national, provincial, and local government. In terms of the notable developments on governance and other imperatives such as improving the management of water resources, we are saying that efforts to improve the management of existing water assets and ensure water security over the next decade has been boosted with the sent by President Ramaphosa of the South African National Water Resources Infrastructure Agency, SOE Ltd bill, which establishes a new agency that will be responsible for developing and managing water infrastructure. Cabinet welcomes the new legislation as signifying a critical step in the reform process to increase investment in the maintenance and construction of water infrastructure and also improvement of the water quality that our people consumes. Local government audit outcomes. Cabinet notes that municipal audit outcomes by the Auditor General for the period of 2022-2023 financial year that shows gradual improvement in financial management within some municipalities have been achieved. Nevertheless, there remains more work to be done to improve compliance across many municipalities that continue to receive negative audit outcomes. The AGSA report shows that only 34 of 257 municipalities, as well as metros, districts, and local municipalities received clean audit outcomes. On a positive note, the number of disclaimed audits decreased, while 45 municipalities improved their audit outcomes since 2020-2021 financial year, and those that submitted their financial statement on time improved from 81% in the period of 2020-2021 to 94% in the period of 2022-2023. That is a huge improvement. Cabinet is encouraged that Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, together with the AGSA, continue to support and implement initiatives aimed at consolidating the improvements recorded in most of our municipalities. The department has also prioritized assisting the worst performing municipalities in the country by improving the competency of personnel through training and skills transfer, as well as enforcing regulations on minimum standard for municipal managers and senior officials. In terms of the National Police Commemoration Day, Cabinet received a briefing about the National Police Commemoration Day, which was held on Sunday, the 1st of September 2024. The Commemoration Day was aimed to honor the women and men in the blue who lost their lives in the line of duty, and also take necessary steps to support their families and especially their school-going age children. Government takes an exception on the 39 police officers that have died in the line of duty and will deal decisively with anyone who is involved in the killing of police officers in their line of duty. Government is prioritizing the fight against crime in all acts of criminality with strengthened law, and which strengthened and or will strengthen the laws that will enable government to enhance its crime fighting efforts. South Africa's progress in addressing the grey listing anti-money laundering deficiencies as assessed by the Financial Action Task Force. Cabinet received the fourth progress report by the Interdepartmental Committee on Anti-Money Laundering and Combating the Financing of Terrorism since South Africa was grey-listed in February 2023. It gives effect to the Cabinet decision of 27 September 2023 that the IDC AML or CFT reports progress 3 times a year. There has been significant progress for South Africa to address technical compliance deficiencies, and of the 20 technical compliance requirements, 15 have already been addressed. For South Africa to completely exit the grey listing, had 22 actions identified as deficiencies on effectiveness, of which 8 of these items have been fully addressed, leaving 14 items to be addressed by February 2025, and this will definitely be done. Cabinet takes note of the complexities of nature of issues to be addressed, but remains committed to ensuring that efforts are heightened to address the remaining actions, and also takes note that South Africa's efforts are yielding better outcomes compared to the well-developed countries like the United States of America, which still heading behind our country, South Africa. In terms of the Cannabis Master Plan, Cabinet received a briefing on the progress on the development of the Cannabis Master Plan, which aims to provide a framework for the establishment, growth and development of the cannabis and hemp industry in South Africa to contribute to the economic growth, poverty alleviation, as well as our job creation efforts. The master plan is anchored on 9 pillars, namely effective regulatory services, sustainable seeds supply systems, research and technology development, producers support systems, market development, enterprises and supplier development, manufacturing and product development, education and training, as well as communication and awareness. The following is a brief summary of a progress made up to date. Following the declaration of hemp as an agricultural crop, a total of 1,110 permits have been issued to hemp cultivation. President Ramaphosa approved the Cannabis to Private Purpose Bill in May 2024. The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development has initiated the process of drafting the regulation in support of the cannabis for private purposes. The Department of Health, through the South African Health Product Regulation Authority, has concluded consultations on changes to the schedules of the Medicines and Related Substances Act of 1965. The Department of Trade and Industry, as well as Competition, the DTIC, concluded situational and value chain analysis on the hemp and cannabis sector in South Africa. The DTIC will soon commence consultations on the cannabis commercialization policy. The Agricultural Research Council developed 2 hemp varieties, and with the support of the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, is currently undergoing the 2nd season of seed multiplication to make it available for the 2025 planting season. In May 2024, the Minister of Agriculture and also as well as the Minister of Land Reform and Rural Development approved the hemp certification scheme to regulate the varietal integrity and the quality of hemp propagation material towards supporting sustainable seed system of hemp. The DALRRD has commissioned research for the value of 124 million rands with the ARC, which focuses on cannabis breeding for medicinal, fiber, and other uses, cannabis plant disease surveillance, indigenous germplasm collection, cannabis seed system development as well. In Gauteng, in collaboration with the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, 10 small, medium, and micro enterprises were supported for the product development. The DALRRD continues to consult provinces on commitments thus far. To improve the capacity of the department to monitor cultivation of the hemp by permit holders, the ARC developed a detailed training program for inspection services. In terms of the Integrated Public Service Month, Cabinet received a briefing on plans to observe this year's Integrated Public Service Month. This year's Integrated Public Service Month is celebrated under the theme Government That Works. Public Service Month serves as a reminder of what is meant to serve communities and to also look at the impact government has, especially around issues of service delivery. This year, South Africa celebrates 30 years of democracy and the 27th anniversary of the Batupili White Paper as a framework for the transformation of public service delivery in South Africa. The integrated government-wide program includes Public Service Month, the Heritage Month, the Tourism Month, as well as the Arbor Month. In terms of appointments, all appointments are subject to verification and qualification relevant to security clearance. Ms. Yolanda Batandwa Damoye has been appointed as Executive Director of the Board of the Public Investment Corporation. Ms. Tulisile Dlori Manzini has been appointed as the Director General in the Department of Small Business Development. Appointment of members of Board of the South African Diamond and a precious metal regulator is as follows. I think I can just only speak about the chairperson. The chairperson will be Mr. Ambil Mgomezulu, and there are a number of there are many non-executive members. Should I read them all? Okay. Dr. Natalie Skiepers, Ms. Fungai Mushweshwe, Ms. Faith Tumelo Mokwena. These are non-executive directors. Dr. Tsepo David Koza, Ms. Leandra Marshall Mchali, Mr. Norman Baloi, Mr. Mawetu Kawe, Advocate Madikela Moloto, who will be representing DMRE, Ms. Reboni Nkambule, who will also be the DMRE alternative member representative, Mr. Rangers Molapo, who will be a representative of NUM, Mr. Dingiswa Yosibeke, who will also be the alternative NUM representative, Advocate Leon Johannes Pretorius, who will be the representative of UASA, Ms. Nongebo Ngobo, who will also be the main member of SARB, Ms. Kamukhelo Manamela, who will be the alternative member of SARB, Ms. Nosi Piwe Mzamo, who will be the ex-officio, and Mr. Cecil Koza, who will also be the ex-officio member. And now the following is the appointment of the members to the board of the State Diamond Trader. Mr. Abi Chikani will be the chairperson. Mr. Ernest Blom will be the non-executive member, and the following now I'll be reading other non-executive members. Ms. Komati Kinston Govender, Advocate Mpati Libakeng will also be the non-executive member. Dr. Olgo Masikwa will be the representative of the department, and Ms. Helen Diatile will be the NUM member representative. Mr. Tapelo Malikutu will be the alternate member of NUM. Ms. Adele Rousseau will be the main member representative of Solidarity. Mr. Johan Dutoy Boyning will also be the alternative Solidarity member representative. Mr. Jack Hugo will be the UASA representative, and Ms. Danile Nyakele will be IDC main member representative. Mr. Lifu Dlamini will be the alternate member of the IDC representative, while Ms. Nosipio Mzamo will be the non-executive member, also known as the ex-officio, and Cecil Kosa will also be the ex-officio member, which will be non-executive. In terms of the upcoming events, the Heritage Month. In September, South Africa marks Heritage Month under the theme celebrating the lives of our heroes and heroines who laid down their lives for our freedom. During this month, government will launch the Exile Repatriation Project aimed at bringing home the remains of the freedom fighters who died in exile to help bring closure to their families and the healing and restoration of our nation. The initiative forms part of national policy for the repatriation and restitution of human remains and heritage objects and objectives. Those who sacrificed their lives for our freedom have laid the path for our constitutional democracy, founded on the principle of human dignity and equal rights for everyone. Government calls on all South Africans to use the Heritage Month to foster greater cohesion, nation building, and a shared national identity, as well as honor those who sacrificed their lives for us to gain the freedom that we are enjoying today. Government also calls for all South Africans to use this month to make sure that they spend so much time with their families and ensure that we do bridge the gaps that are between different nationalities. In terms of the 79th United Nations General Assembly, also known as UNGA, President Ramaphosa will lead the South African delegation to the general debate of the 79th session of UNGA in New York from the 24th to the 30th of September 2024. This year, the Assembly is convened under the theme Unity in Diversity for the Advancement of Peace, Sustainable Development, and Human Dignity for Everyone, Everywhere. President Ramaphosa will address the General Assembly on the 24th of September 2024, providing an assessment of the current global and continental peace, security, and developmental challenges. Preceding the UNGA 79, the Secretary General of UN will convene the Summit of the Future on the 20th to the 21st of September 2024 at the UN headquarters. The summit brings together world leaders to forge a new international consensus on how to deliver a better present while also safeguarding the future. In terms of the Africa Aerospace and Defense Exhibition and Air Show 2024, President Ramaphosa will open the AAD Expo, which will take place from the 18th to the 22nd of September 2024 at the Air Force Base Waterkloof in Gauteng under the theme Exploring New Paths, Sharing Solutions, Showcasing Innovation and Capability. The AAD is the only defense exhibition hosted on the African continent by South Africa and ranked with the top 6 in the global defense calendar, with objectives to do the following: to showcase the defense and aerospace cutting-edge technology developed and manufactured in South Africa and around the world, to also promote and drive exports, which sustains the defense and aviation industries, to promote and reinforce South Africa's position as a key driver of innovation and manufacturing, to also facilitate international partnerships and business-to-business networks, as well as government-to-government business networks, to also promote South Africa as a destination of choice for tourism and business, to contribute to job creation, to also create an educational platform to promote defense and aviation careers and innovation for our youth. In terms of the FIBA Under-18 Afro Basketball Tournament, South Africa is currently hosting a 12-nation Under-18 Basketball African Championship in Pretoria from the 1st to the 14th of September 2024. The tournament features 12 male and 12 female national basketball teams, divided into 3 groups, which each consist of 4 teams. In terms of the signing of the implementation protocol between the Department of Basic Education and Sports, Arts and Culture, on 4th of September 2024, the Ministers of Basic Education and the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture signed an implementation protocol to promote the essence of school sports and also to support the importance of co-curricular activities in our schools to help develop learners holistically and assist them in developing critical skills and abilities to be successful and active citizens in this country. The protocol incorporates a range of collaborative programs such as sports ambassadors, national youth camp, indigenous games, reading clubs, heritage education programs, a spelling bee, the Young Patriots program, physical education, national library programs, the South African Schools Choral, Aisted Fort, National Archives Awareness Week, amongst many others. In terms of messages, we bring in congratulations as cabinet, and they are extended as follows. South African researchers involved in the groundbreaking study, the Beat Tuberculosis, which has become the world's first program in the battle against drug-resistant tuberculosis for all population groups, influencing the international TB treatment policy of the World Health Organization. We're also congratulating Waronaziani and Onale Ronaziani, known as the T Sisters, for securing third place at the prestigious World Cup competition of entrepreneurship held in Japan. The T Sisters also won 2 Sustainable Development Goals awards from the UN, especially for Goals 1, No on No Poverty, and Goal 16 of Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. Our nation's athletes at the Under 20 World Championship and Paralympics Games are also congratulated, and they are as follows. The fastest teenager in the world, sprinter Bayanda Walaza, on his gold medal in the 100-meter and 200-meter final at the Under 20 World Champions. Walaza is currently doing his matric at Curo Hazeldean in Pretoria. Bradley Nkwana for a bronze medal for the 100-meter final at the Under 20 World Championships. Udeme Okon for a gold medal for the 400 final at the U20 or the Under 20 World Championships. Silver medal for the 4x400 or 4x4 men's relay team. Brian Katu, Sihle Mahlangu, Jabulo Mbata, and Udeme Okon at the Under 20 World Champions. J.L. van Rensburg for silver medal for the men's shot put at the Under 20 World Championship final. Hannah van Niekerk for bronze medal for the 400-meter hurdles at the Under 20 World Championships. Mpumelelo Mhlongo for the gold medal and the new world record for the men's T4400 meter at the Paralympic Games in Paris. And Luzanne Gozier for the bronze medal for the world's or the women's T11 1000 or 1.5 meters at the Paralympic Games in Paris as well. Ronwen Williams, Bafana Bafana, and Mamelodi Sundowns goalkeeper on his nomination as one of the 10 best goalkeepers in the world at the Ballon d'Or Awards. Springboks for defeating the All Blacks during the Castle Lager Rugby Championship on Saturday on the 31st of August 2024. Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa, PRASA, and Gautrain for providing integrated transport services that enable South Africans to physically watch the Springboks and All Blacks rugby match. Cabinet further encourages the public to sport and ride the 30th year of freedom and democracy PRASA branded train. In terms of condolences, Cabinet expresses condolences to the friends and family of the following: Professor Brian O'Connell, the former rector and vice chancellor at the University of Western Cape. He served as the rector from 2001 to 2014. Radio and television personality Thabiso Sekwane, a seasoned broadcaster who inspired many people throughout the country. The praise poet Bishop Jessica Mbangeni, who was renowned for her powerful poetic skills. Her performances included at the former President Thabo Mbeki's inauguration in 1999 and former President Nelson Mandela, the 4664 concert. Mr. Mpakamisi Ngciweni, the Kwazakele primary school teacher in the Eastern Cape, who was murdered at the school premises by extortionists. Thank you very much.
Minister, thank you very much. We're now going to be taking the questions for the minister as per the cabinet statement that she has read for us. We'll start in the room. The procedure is normal. You introduce yourself, the media house that you represent, and then you can ask your question. All right, we'll set there at the back and then come back to you. Nobody there. Okay. We have 2 hands. Colleagues, in that order.
Hi, good morning, Minister. Paul Vecchiota from Bloomberg. Just a question on the Cannabis Master Plan. Is this now a Cabinet decision to implement this master plan, or did you just receive a briefing about it? Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Minister. Babalo Nenza from EWN. And just on DPE, how far is that process now to completely wind down the department? I mean, if you could just clarify, as far as human resources is concerned, and the personnel that were there, and the head office there in Victoria and Arcadia, I think, what happens to things like head office DPE? I mean, really the question is, have we reached the point where DPE is not existent, or doesn't exist anymore? Thank you, Minister.
Okay, thank you so much. Minister, I suggest we start with those hands, then we'll go to online questions thereafter.
Okay, thank you. In terms of the cannabis master plan, is still under development. It's going through different cabinet cluster for processing. So it is definitely something that cabinet will definitely take a decision on to finalize. However, it is already going through developmental stages, and it is what we want to implement. And in terms of the DPE, the process, of course, we're still under consultations with the Presidency as well as public service. However, there will still be some few that will be left in DPE, so that we can then now continue with making sure that the implementation of the National Public Enterprises Bill and the establishment of the holdco does continue, because we will still be needing some of those strategic capabilities that will help us to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. We'll now go to the online questions. Nandi.
Good morning, Minister. DG, all the media houses represented this morning. We have 2 questions, Minister. One question is coming from Terence Creamer from Engineering News, asking what timeline is currently anticipated for the creation of a holding company for the SOEs. And the second question from him is how will line departments mitigate potential conflicts between the commercial interest of the SOEs and the policies being developed that contradict those interests but are required as part of the reform agenda. And then the second question is coming from Jan Gerber, News 24. Did Justice Minister Thembi Simelane explain the VBS allegations against her to Cabinet? Is Cabinet not concerned that these allegations about the Justice Minister cast a pall over the measures against corruption listed in the Cabinet statement? Thank you. Those are the 2 questions.
Thank you, Nandi. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you. I'll start with the last question. Of course, that would be a process that will be handled by the President, so it doesn't have to come to Cabinet. In terms of the reforms of the holdco and the line department, the bill that will be passed, the National Public Enterprise Bill, will look after all those. So we just have to wait for the bill to actually be finalized, and it's already in Parliament. It has been resuscitated from the previous administration. As a result, all those systems that need to be put in place to deal with such issues will definitely be handled by the bill as we move forward into the establishment of a centralized model that will definitely make sure that all our public enterprises do operate with good governance according to international and global practices. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Just in case we have the last round of questions. Do we have any questions from the room? Okay, note yours. And nobody else. Okay, we'll take your hand, and then Nandi will automatically go to the online questions as well thereafter. Thank you.
Minister Paul from Bloomberg again. Minister, thank you very much for sending the statement earlier, and a very comprehensive statement. However, it's missing something that's really important, and that is cabinet decisions. The whole point of these briefings is to tell us what cabinet's decided as government's highest decision-making body. Now, reading through the statement, so I don't want to go on too long, there's a lot of briefings and noting and so on, and many of those are very welcome. But did cabinet decide on anything? I know half of cabinet's almost in China, but did you actually decide on anything in this meeting? Thank you.
One last question again from Skelela Group, Business Report newspaper. He's asking, how confident is Cabinet that SA would have addressed the outstanding 14
Cabinet was, in fact, the board decisions as well as the appointments of boards, as well as appointment of senior executives in different departments, were some of the decisions that we had to take. But in the main, this cabinet meeting was to receive progress reports on systems and as well as on activities that have been carried over from the previous administration, and ensuring that with the changes that might have taken place and the promulgations that the president has been able to pass, then we then now ensure that there is a transition that would then now allow us to be able to ensure that all that has been agreed upon can be accountable and will definitely be implemented. So it was more for that progress report and to ensure that that which needs urgent attention is given that particular attention. And in terms of the last question, we are planning on ensuring that we do meet the agenda that we have put for ourselves. So that we don't foresee any us not being able to meet what we have put on for ourselves, precisely because the progress that we have already been able to register is actually a proof that we are definitely going to be able to meet what we have set out for ourselves. Thank you.
There's a last question, and yes, so we'll take that last question, Nandi, and then Minister will also just wrap up.
Okay. This one is from Lisa Gatandwa from Times Live. She's asking, can the minister clarify if Cabinet or the President will consider handing the land bank to the Minister of Agriculture? Has this been discussed by Cabinet, and has Mr. Steenhuisen made this request? The second question from her, the ANC has been known to conflate party and state in the past. Can the minister clarify why the ANC TG, Ms. Ramokgopa, is part of the delegation in China? Thank you.
All right, thank you. The issue of land bank and any other institution of government is something that is not discussed in cabinet. It is the prerogative of the president. He will issue a promulgation if there is a need to do so. So we'll just have to wait for that particular process, because it's not just a decision. It is a decision that has to be preceded by certain developments, analysis, and assessment. So we will just have to wait for that particular promulgation or that decision to be communicated by the president, if ever there's a need to do so. In terms of the delegation that went to China, there's different types of categories of people that would form a part of the delegation from civil society, from NGOs, also from business that would usually accompany the president in order to ensure that the people-to-peoples aspect of our trade relations and multilateral relation does take place. So it wouldn't matter whether it's Maropene or it's someone who is a singer, but many people will definitely form that particular delegation in order to ensure that we bring all South Africans together as we do whatever it is that we need to do internationally. Thank you.
Minister, thank you very much. Thank you very much, colleagues from all media houses, and thank you very much from all our viewers domestically and globally. We are bringing the post-cabinet media briefing to an end, and thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. You are so excellent. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Oh my, you've been standing the whole
of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency President Matamela.